Ho, ho, ho! You know, many find it hard to believe I own a sleigh that can fly. But you know what I find hard to believe? The unbelievable offers going on at the winter event.
The Mercedes-Benz Winter Event is back with incredible offers on the sporty CLA, the thrilling C-Class, the versatile GLA, the safe and secure GLE, the innovative GLC, and of course, the unequaled E-Class. But hurry, because these sleighs are going fast. Visit MBUSA.com/winter event. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Hi, welcome to What's New with VHHughes.
World won't get no better if we just let it be. Na 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 na. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it now, just you and me.
Welcome to What's New with VHHughes. I'm your host, VHHughes, and I have my co-host, Chris Hughes, here. Happy birthday to you, Chris.
Thank you, and Excelsior.
Excelsior, indeed. So today's subject matter is about sex, but not in the way that you think. I've been looking at some of the statistics, of course, and that's what I do. And I'm just trying to get my head around, we have so much technology, you know, I mean, we even have technology on our wrists now. With all that, why do you feel or do you think that people are still contracting STDs, whether it's gonorrhea or syphilis or HIV? I just need to put my head around this. What's your thoughts, Chris?
Stupidity.
That's it?
No. Seriously speaking, I think the aspect of people having sex does not correlate, for the most part, as far as protection and being responsible. Is the act itself and the criteria for making sure that you are protected and safe kind of flies out the handle because you're in the moment. Now, everyone does that. You do have people that engage promiscuously, single people hooking up with other single people, and they do take precautions, and more power to them. But for those, as you mentioned, as far as give you all these STDs and other deadly situations that come about, those individuals, unfortunately, have that mindset of like, I'm in the moment, I don't care about anything else but being in the moment, and anything else I have to deal with, I'll deal with later. So part of it, like I just started off with, is to me stupidity in itself, because it's one thing to be in the moment and enjoy yourself or whatever it could be, that's fine. It's another thing that being reckless with your body in the way of contracting these sexual diseases, or having a child before you're ready, or something else that goes on that could potentially hurt you or kill you, and not take the precautions like you're supposed to make sure that you're okay with enjoying the sexual act that you're looking to have.
And looking at everything that has been going around, and looking at the statistics for Maricopa County in itself, just all of that, it's really interesting that people are still, in this day and age, contracting anything, not just something as simple as syphilis, but as deadly as AIDS is and HIV is, people are still, with all the knowledge that we have out there, all the different organizations that we have out there, people are still contracting HIV. And unfortunately, there are some people out there that are not forthright, and they're sleeping with people and contracting and giving them HIV, and then these people find out after the fact.
Well, it always angered me that I've always been a strong proponent as far as a single person doing whatever he or she wants with another single person. Okay, that's fine. It always upset me, though, as far as the fact of a person choosing to be in a relationship with somebody, as far as a boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband and wife, and still decides to dip out that relationship to have their fling, and unfortunately, or possibly bringing something back into the stable relationship that they also chose as well. Now, the thing about that is, they decide to do that. That's one thing, but if the partner doesn't know what's going on, whatever, and he or she is hurt by that person dipping, as they say, out of the relationship, to me that's very hateful on their part, and they can apologize up to wazoo, but you chose to be with Bobby or Sue, and you decided to get down and dirty with all the other people because you want more, I guess, out your life, to be being selfish. So realizing that you still kind of had that whole gene in you and wasn't ready to really settle down like that.
Well, we do know that there are people getting married for various reasons other than love, and a lot of people don't have staying power. So that is something that's really interesting. But those people who do decide to get married or are in a committed relationship, whatever the case may be, they definitely put their lives at risk, especially if they're getting with someone or being with someone who they may or may not know, because there is a chance that a lot of people may not know who they're involved with.
Well, that's the thing, though. If, again, as a single person, you do with who you wish to, hopefully another single individual, however y'all want to. That is a totally different situation than someone in a relationship with somebody. Because bottom line, here it is, Joe and Nancy, for example. Nancy still wants to get down and dirty like that, and Joe is trying to be true to her or whatever. So as far as Joe's concerned, he has a true one in Nancy, and he trusts and protects her, make sure he's okay, physically or okay to be, but yet Nancy is, skipping out behind his back, being with other guys or whatever, and all that enjoyment and all that fun and virility, the possibility of her getting something and they bringing it home to my man gets that much stronger percentage-wise because she doesn't, take the precautions to protect herself.
Well, the thing is that I think in the lack of respect that people have for their own self, they don't have that same respect for someone else. It's like that whole thing about how can I love someone else unless I love myself, and I think that carries over, especially now in this day and time with, people, young people especially, they're younger, they are out there, they're experimenting, or I believe someone coined the phrase as trisexual, so they're trying all kinds of things that other generations wouldn't have dreamed of doing, or if they did it, they wouldn't have told everybody about it. So there's a huge difference, of course, generational wise, and that could explain why the rise in the STDs, not only just in the teen population, but in our adult population as well. Especially our seniors. And so just looking at all of that, the reason why this show is on today is because of the fact that I can't seem to understand when we have so many health shows, so many, if you look on just about every corner, there's a pharmacy, clinics, health departments, the list goes on and on. You have all of this knowledge. There are databases online. People stay online. They on Facebook. They on Twitter. You have all of that. By the way, the CDC and all those guys, the public health departments, they're on Twitter and Facebook as well. You have all of this knowledge accessible to you, and yet you still put your life on the line to have a few moments to an hour or so of pleasure. And I'm just not getting that. I'm not getting that. I don't understand that. I don't understand that as a parent. I don't understand that as a health professional. I don't understand it. I don't understand how people can be so blatantly risk-taking in that aspect.
Well, that's again, as started off the show, the responsibility aspect of making sure that you're protected and your partner is wearing a condom or some type of uterine device, so both of y'all can still enjoy the moment, but won't have to worry about kids or diseases or whatever, does not always come into play because it's the fact that they're in the moment. And usually in the moment, you don't have a responsible mindset going on.
So you're saying that there's no planning ahead anymore. You know,
for most people, a lot of people that I've talked to do plan ahead, do know to have a condom, like a young lady or woman having condoms on her just in case the gentleman doesn't have condoms, for example. But then you have those that just want to be with that person because they're attractive or they're that excitable, horny, whatever you want to call it, and want to be with that person. The whole aspect of the gain and the reward for being with that person because of the feeling to be met sexually supposedly overtakes the sensibilities and responsibilities of the mind to make sure that you're protected.
I apologize, callers. We're having technical difficulties, so I can't get you if you are calling in. If you want, I think I can see some of your messages if you send those in, but my dashboard is down. In looking, I know we're parents, but before we were parents, we dated. We dated other people and things like that. And for me, there was a core responsibility as a person dating to make sure that I not only protected myself, but protected my partner as well. And that's just a responsibility that you take on. Whether it's a committed relationship or not, when you are exchanging fluids, if you will, there's a responsibility there, not just because of pregnancy. We all know that every sexual act does not end up in pregnancy. That responsibility component has seemed to have fallen by the wayside. That responsibility component it just seems to be flushed down the toilet, and now the whole end thing is to get as many people as you can, and it doesn't matter, if there is some kind of sexual transmitted disease or anything of the sort. It doesn't matter because that's not your problem. Now, I remember the Public Health Administration way back in the day had this commercial, and it was a huge commercial, and it had this guy and this girl, and they were going to a hotel room. And in that hotel room, on one side of the room were a bunch of guys, and on the other side of the hotel room there were a bunch of girls. And basically the whole concept was each person that you have slept with sleeps with whoever you sleep with. And I believe that mindset, that reality, if you will, needs to come back, especially if you are sleeping with someone unprotected. And, of course, this is what they're saying. You sleep with somebody unprotected, you slept with Joe. As a female, you slept with Joe, then you just slept with who Joe slept with. So Joe slept with Sally, Joe slept with Susie. And whoever else that Susie and Sally slept with. So you have all these people. That room now becomes crowded. if you really think about it, for real, and the reality that it is. And there are, and the reason why I wanted to do this show, because there are drug-resistant strains of STDs out there. There's a drug-resistant strain of gonorrhea out there. There's a drug-resistant strain of HIV out there. And with so many people, and especially young people, being tantalized by what they see, they have no idea what that person has. And half the time, let's be honest, these people are not taking care of themselves regardless. They're living for the moment. The coin, what was the phrase a few years ago? Was it YOLO? Mm-hmm. You know, that was going on. And I think that mindset, you only live once, gets these children in trouble.
Well, it's always seemed to be about how much you drunk, how much drugs you had in your system, and how much sex you had, as the whole coin position of having fun. And I never understood that, because my thing is, you know, to be able to go to a show or go to an amusement park, arcade when we had them back in the day, hang with your friends, you know, just to the park or something, were enjoyable moments that I had. But, you know, the whole issue of being adult and doing adult things and growing up faster than what you need to be, so to be more so the end-all be-all for most young folk when I was growing up. You know, whereas I didn't have that, you know, wanting, you know, grow a fast gene. You know, people around me, especially the whole drinking aspect, was looking forward to that, or were trying to, you know, get their first taste or whatever. And then for some people, is not even drinking, but the fact of having sex with somebody for the first time, or having sex, period, was an excitable issue it came to be. But none of the responsibility in me talking to them was ever displayed. It's just, you know, being able to a guy getting into a girl, or a girl being with a guy or whatever, and that's it. The whole idea of having fun with that person and being with that person because he's so cute or she got a nice butt or whatever it may be was the most of the focus while I talk to these people.
And that was a lifetime ago, of course. But now things are a lot faster. You know, I think when we were growing up, a one-night stand was a fluke, if you will. I'm not saying they didn't exist. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if they happened, they didn't happen often. And depending on how it went, you really didn't talk about it. Now, fast forward where we are now. One-night stands are commonplace. And
it seems to be the norm that, you know, people just want to
go
here.
They actually have a app. Was it Tinder or something like that? They have that.
And or some sites that cater to those that just want to meet someone, have a one-night stand, and then go about their business, you know. No responsibility behind whatever, you know, but at the same time, you still got to protect yourself, and again, that does always come to play for some folks.
Knowing that the information is out there, knowing that we have all these departments, not just the CDC, but we have statewide departments, we have health departments, we have health professionals. We have so many different ways of reaching people, social media, in person, over the internet via Google Chat or Skype or whatever, you name it, it's out there. Mm-hmm. To how do we reach, I guess that common sense plateau, if you will, not just to say that we're going to have this conversation, we're going to sit here, we're going to talk about, what STDs are, this is what they look like, whatever, but to actually reach these people to realize that that hot little number over there, that fine man over there, or whatever you say in your head, that package may look really, really good, but that package could be deadly.
True.
What do you think? What is the ultimate thing? People, I remember, what was it, the Mega Millions, Powerball, the crazy fever with that. Do we need to have something so crazy as, the Powerball is $200 million, by the way, make sure you use a condom the next time you sleep with a woman? I mean, because that, just to have that whole, let's get their attention and throw that in there.
Kind of like a Beyonce Super Bowl halftime show thing with the Black Panther dressed dancers and stuff like. The Black Panther dressed dancers to promote her message of police brutality and that black people need to stand up for themselves. It was a shock for most people who didn't understand or didn't get it at the first or at the beginning of it or whatever, or during the show. My thing about it is that we as parents particularly need to stay vigilant with our children to continue educating them the best we can on this issue. If you are a parent, it is your job to make sure that you are the in-between of the chaos and stupidity that your kids are going to get into, and protect them from that, and trying to educate them the best you can for whatever's going on. As my wife has mentioned, there are a plethora of informational sites and shows and talk shows and books and whatever you can think of. There is something app-wise or whatever in this day and age that you can link to your phones or computers, or look up through Google or Bing or whatever to give you information that you need, and make sure that your kids are in the know of what's going on out there, so that if he or she does decide to be with someone sexually, that they are prepared for the situation the best they can, for what you've taught them and what you've showed them literature-wise, to give them the best chance of enjoying their situation, but not bringing in responsibilities that they don't need, as well as contracting anything that they don't want to have to deal with.
And doing all of that, because we all know that each child has their own opinion, just like each adult, each person, and each individual is different. What's said in our face, and we experienced this firsthand with our oldest daughter, what's said in our face may not be what's going on once they leave your door. You can preach, if you will. You can have conversations. We all know at the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do. Unfortunately, in doing so, they can do more harm than good. And in doing that, they put themselves in harm's way, or they create a snowball effect. And what I mean by a snowball effect is there are some people out there in this world, and they look normal, whatever. They are simply people who pass on stuff to other people. It does not affect them health-wise. They were simply a carrier, and they transmitted it over. And that could be with any one of those STDs out there. These people do exist. They look like normal people, whatever. They don't even know that they are that type of person. Mm-hmm. And it still goes back to that whole thing of having a conversation first with someone, instead of, hey, you're nice looking, you got beautiful eyes, you want to go to my hotel room, or whatever the new line is, or whatever the new dating genre is. My thoughts on this, and we're going to be wrapping it up in a few minutes, but my thoughts on this is that we have to get in the mindset of interviewing people for everything, not just someone that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, but even the people that, you're around. As I said, birds of a feather flock together. If your friend is out there doing people wrong sexually by spreading HIV or gonorrhea or whatever, and they know it, even though you may not know it, you're still lumped in with that person. So I'm just saying, people, let's start interviewing people again. Let's start getting to know people again. Let's start being health conscious about our sexual relations. And maybe we can see some of these statistics start decreasing nationwide. I truly thank you guys for joining us or for this What's New with VHHughes this week. We will be back next week. Hopefully all our technical bugs will be out. Definitely keep up with us. We'll keep bringing you great content, and we're looking forward to having a great conversation with you. So, again, I'm your host, VHHughes. Thank you again to my partner, Chris Hughes.
Hey.
Happy birthday again.
Thank you.
See you next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Ho, ho, ho! Many find it hard to believe I own a sleigh that can fly. But you know what I find hard to believe? The unbelievable offers going on at the winter event.
The Mercedes-Benz Winter Event is back with incredible offers on the sporty CLA, the thrilling C-Class, the versatile GLA, the safe and secure GLE, the innovative GLC, and of course, the unequaled E-Class. But hurry, because these sleighs are going fast. Visit MBUSA.com/winter event. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Ho, ho, ho! Many find it hard to believe I own a sleigh that can fly. But you know what I find hard to believe? The unbelievable offers going on at the winter event.
The Mercedes-Benz Winter Event is back with incredible offers on the sporty CLA, the thrilling C-Class, the versatile GLA, the safe and secure GLE, the innovative GLC, and of course, the unequaled E-Class. But hurry, because these sleighs are going fast. Visit MBUSA.com/winter event. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.